The world thought Lisa Marie had heard every song her father ever recorded, until producers uncovered one reel labeled only Graceland, August 77. When she pressed play during a live tribute, the room froze. Then Elvis's voice came through the speakers, saying words no one expected her to hear. Stay, because what Lisa Marie heard that night wasn't just a song. It was a goodbye 45 years in the making. Graceland Archives, Memphis, June 2022. The vault hums like a heartbeat. Rows of gray shelves stretch into dim yellow light, filled with reels, photographs, and handwritten lyric sheets sealed behind plastic. Each box carries a lifetime. Archivist Evelyn Shore adjusts her gloves, sorting through the Presley collection for digital transfer. Her checklist is nearly done when she spots one carton pushed to the back. Edges taped, dust heavy on the lid. Across the front, a fading label reads in blue marker, Graceland, August 12th to 14th, 1977. Home session. She frowns. Those were Elvis's final days. Most tapes from that week were assumed blank or lost. Evelyn hesitates, palms sweating despite the cool air. Then curiosity wins. She places the box on the table and peels the tape away. Inside lies a single brown reel, the tape curled tight and brittle. A small sticky note is attached. Piano room. Do not erase. Her heart kicks. She calls her supervisor, then Lisa Marie's assistant. Within the hour, Graceland's private phone line rings in Los Angeles. Lisa Marie answers groggily, halfway through a meeting. Evelyn Shore Archives. The voice says, "We found something. Dated August 77. For a long moment, Lisa says nothing. She's heard that year whispered all her life. The summer when every clock in her world stopped. What is it? A home recording. Marked, do not erase. We haven't played it yet." Lisa exhales slowly. "I'll be there tonight." By sunset, her jet crosses the Mississippi skyline, engines glowing against pink storm clouds. The city of Memphis unfolds beneath her, neon reflections on the river. She hasn't been home in months. Driving through the Graceland gates, she passes a handful of fans taking photos near the stone wall etched with signatures. Some still leave flowers every week. It never stops. Inside, Evelyn waits by the vault door, clutching a clipboard like a secret. "We haven't touched it," she says. "It could degrade if we play it wrong." Lisa steps inside the chilled room. The smell of dust, plastic, and faint reel oil fills the air, like time itself preserved. She runs her fingers across the box. The handwriting is unmistakable. Her father's. The letters lean left, rushed, alive. For a second, her throat tightens. "Set up a deck," she says quietly. Evelyn nods to the engineer on call. The reel-to-reel player is rolled in, humming as it warms. Lisa sits down, staring at the empty spools turning slowly, waiting for sound. Would you dare to listen to a voice that time tried to silence? Would you open something that might break your heart all over again? She folds her hands, exhales, and whispers to the engineer, "Let's hear it." The switch clicks. The tape begins to spin. The reel spins. A faint hiss fills the room, like air escaping from another century. Lisa Marie leans forward, elbows on her knees. Her pulse keeps time with the slow turning of the spools. The engineer, Mark Lawson, adjusts the knobs with delicate precision. "Level's good," he murmurs. "You ready?" She nods. Then static, a soft shuffle, and a voice. "Testing, testing. Still here. Elvis." Not the polished, powerful sound from his stage days. This is softer, closer, like he's sitting 2 feet away in the Graceland piano room. You can hear the bench creak, the hum of cicadas through the open window, even his breathing between words. Lisa covers her mouth. Her father's voice isn't echoing from a speaker. It's inside the room. He clears his throat, chuckling low. "All right, let's see if I remember this one." A few piano chords ring out, slow, heavy, gentle. Then he begins to sing. The melody is new, not from any known recording. His tone carries something weary yet peaceful. The words speak of home, of walking through the gates, toward a light that never fades. Lisa whispers, "What song is this?" Mark glances at her. "I've never heard it. Not anywhere." Halfway through, Elvis falters. You can hear him exhale, whispering, "Let's try that again." Then, softly, almost to himself, he says, "This one's for my girl." Lisa's heart stops. Her eyes glass over. She can't speak. Her father had called her that, my girl, since she was 5. Mark freezes, hands off the controls, unsure whether to keep going. Lisa nods silently. "Don't stop." The piano resumes, notes floating like ghosts across the room. The song ends on a single lingering chord. Elvis hums one last line, then says quietly, "If it turns out right, we'll play it together someday." Silence. No applause, no fade out. Just the click of the recorder stopping. Lisa sits motionless, staring at the reels slowing to a crawl. The room feels too small, too alive. Mark clears his throat. "Should I run it again?" She shakes her head.
No.
"Not yet." Her voice trembles when she finally speaks. "He knew. Somehow, he knew this would find me." Evelyn peers through the glass window from the control booth, whispering, "Are you okay?" Lisa wipes a tear. "He left this here for now." The realization hits her. This isn't just a song. It's a message. A final conversation he recorded without knowing the years it would have to travel to reach her. What happens when the past speaks directly to you? When someone you loved finds a way to talk long after goodbye. She looks up, eyes red but steady. "We can't keep it locked up." Mark hesitates. "You want to release it?" Lisa nods slowly. "We have to share this." The engineer looks down at the spinning reel, still warm from motion. Then the world's about to hear Elvis Presley one last time. Lisa exhales. "No," she whispers. They're about to hear him as a father. The next morning, the news starts to spread. First inside Graceland's walls, then across Memphis. Someone in the restoration lab leaks a single line from the archivist's log. Unreleased Elvis recording discovered, August 1977. Within hours, every entertainment site runs the headline. By the afternoon, #LostElvisSong trends worldwide. Lisa Marie's phone won't stop ringing. Journalists, old producers, even family friends asking the same question. Is it real? It is. And she knows it's not just another find. It's a final conversation between father and daughter. At first, she wants to keep it private. But the more she listens, the more it feels wrong to hide. "He always wanted to sing for people," she tells her team. "If I keep this for myself, I'm doing the one thing he never did, staying silent." By week's end, she makes the decision. The upcoming Graceland tribute concert, honoring the 45th anniversary of his passing, will premiere the track publicly for the first and only time. The moment the announcement drops, everything changes. Graceland's phone lines jam. Hotels sell out within hours. Fans travel from across the world: Tokyo, London, Rio. One man drives 20 hours from Denver, saying he just wants to be there when Elvis comes back home. The amphitheater expands, seating to 20,000. News crews stake out the gates, hoping to catch a glimpse of Lisa arriving. Inside the Presley estate, staff move carefully around her. She hasn't smiled much. She spends evenings in the piano room, listening to the hiss of the tape until it feels like breathing. Producer Dave Cobb calls from Nashville. "You sure about this? Once the world hears it, it's not yours anymore." Lisa answers softly, "It was never just mine." She stands at her father's old microphone in the music room, a Shure SM7, dusty but still sharp. Sometimes, she whispers to the air, "Was this what you meant for me to find?" The day before the concert, she meets with her mother, Priscilla, in the kitchen. "He would have wanted them to hear it," Lisa says. Priscilla nods, wiping her eyes. "Then let them hear him one more time." That night, under soft lamplight, Lisa signs the authorization papers for live playback. Her hand trembles slightly. She stares at the final line of the form. Approval granted by next of kin. Feels both heavy and holy. Would you let the world hear your father's last words? Or keep them as your own forever? Would you share the pain if it meant millions could feel his love again? Lisa sets the pen down and whispers, "He sang this for me. I'll play it for them." Outside, the Memphis night hums with anticipation. At Graceland's gate, fans already gather with candles and guitars, softly singing "Can't Help Falling in Love." Tomorrow, the song will finally come home. August 16th, 2022. 45 years to the day since Elvis Presley left the world. The Graceland Amphitheater glows under a warm Tennessee night. Cameras line the aisles. Microphones glint beneath the floodlights. 20,000 fans fill the open lawn, some in vintage jumpsuits, others clutching candles. The air hums with expectation, a mix of grief and gratitude. Backstage, Lisa Marie stands alone with the silver reel case in her hands. Across its lid, her father's handwriting still reads, "Graceland, August 12th to 14th, 1977, home session." She runs her thumb over the marker lines, steadying her breath. A voice on the comms, "Lisa, you're up in 60 seconds." She steps toward the stage. The crowd's roar softens into silence as she appears beneath the spotlight. Dressed in black, hair pulled back, she doesn't wave or smile. She just holds the reel like a sacred relic. "Good evening," she begins quietly. "My dad recorded this here at home just days before he passed. I'd never heard it until last week." A hush falls. Even the cameras stop zooming. She nods to the sound technician. "Let's listen together." The engineer presses play. A click, then hiss, and suddenly, the impossible Elvis's voice. It pours through the speakers like sunlight through dust, familiar yet fragile. He hums a low note, clears his throat, and begins through the gates. The amphitheater becomes weightless. Fans lower their candles. Some close their eyes. Others cry silently. On the giant screen, an archival image appears. Elvis at his piano, smiling mid-verse. The crowd gasps. Lisa stares at the stage floor, frozen. Her lips tremble as she hears him sing about peace, about finding rest, about love that keeps walking even after goodbye. Then, near the end, the tape wavers. There's a small pause, and in the faintest whisper, he says, "Sing it for me someday, little one." The words hang in the air like prayer. Lisa's hand flies to her mouth. The audience collectively exhales, the sound of hearts breaking in unison. The reel spins to its end, click. Silence. No one moves. Even the wind seems to stop around Graceland. Lisa kneels beside the console, eyes glistening. "Daddy?" she whispers. The word caught halfway between breath and disbelief. For a moment, you can almost believe he's there, watching from the balcony, smiling that half-grin he always had before the encore. The crowd rises slowly, holding their candles higher. The tape rests, still warm. And somewhere between memory and music, a voice seems to linger. "I'm still here." For a few seconds after the tape ends, no one moves. The air in the amphitheater feels heavy, like the world itself is afraid to breathe. Then, slowly, Lisa stands. Her face glows under the soft amber lights. She tries to speak but can't. Every word sticks in her throat. Behind her, the big screen freezes on Elvis's last frame. His hands still on the piano keys, eyes half closed in that familiar look of calm. Lisa grips the microphone with shaking fingers. The crowd is silent, waiting. When her voice finally returns, it's quiet and raw. "He wasn't saying goodbye to fans," she whispers. "He was saying it to me." A collective murmur ripples through the audience. Some cry openly. Others clasp hands, as if holding on to someone they've lost too. She kneels beside the playback console, head bowed. The faint tape hiss still hums through the speakers, filling the silence like a heartbeat. Her tears hit the metal surface, tiny echoes caught by the mic. One by one, fans rise from their seats. It starts with a slow clap, then another. Within seconds, 20,000 people are standing, applauding, not for entertainment, but for something sacred. No one cheers. They just clap in rhythm. Steady, gentle, endless. Lisa wipes her eyes, lifts her head. "Thank you," she says softly. "He'd be so proud to know you're still here." She looks at the sound technician. Play it again. He hesitates. The whole thing. Yes, she says. Every word. As the reel rewinds, Lisa walks off stage toward the steps. The screen fades to a still photo of Graceland's gates bathed in light. From backstage, Priscilla watches through tears. She whispers, "He's home again." When the music begins a second time, Lisa doesn't return to the stage. Instead, she sits among the fans in the front row, hands folded, head bowed. The audience realizes what she's doing and follows her lead. A sea of candles rises, flickering across the amphitheater. The piano note drifts through the warm Memphis air. 1,000 voices hum softly along, filling in the places where Elvis once would have been. What do you do when love finds its way back through the static? When someone you thought was gone starts speaking again? Through music, through memory, through you. Lisa leans forward, whispering to herself, "I hear you, Daddy." By the final verse, she's not crying anymore. She's smiling, tired, peaceful, glowing. When the tape ends, the silence feels different now. Not grief, closure. That night, fans leave flowers, letters, and vinyl records outside Graceland's gate. The candles stay lit until sunrise. And somewhere inside the mansion, through the still night air, the faint hum of that reel seems to play again, soft, steady, eternal. 2 months later, the reel sits framed inside Graceland's studio room, silent but alive. Lisa Marie stands beside it, headphones around her neck, eyes red from a long day of recording. Producer Dave Cobb leans over the console, adjusting a fader. "We've got his track isolated. You ready to go?" She exhales, nods once. "Let's finish what he started." The red light flashes on. The tape spins. Elvis's piano begins. Slow, soulful. That same melody from the night she first heard it. Lisa closes her eyes and hums along, voice trembling. When she finally sings, it's not polished or rehearsed. It's human, fragile, cracked with grief but lifted by love. They record it live, one take only. No tuning, no filters. Dave watches from behind the glass, whispering, "She's not just singing with him. She's answering him." Halfway through the chorus, Elvis's original vocal fills the room. "Through the gates I'll walk someday." Lisa's harmony joins him, soft, haunting, perfectly imperfect. For the first time, it sounds like they're both there. Father and daughter, finishing a conversation that began 45 years ago. When the final note fades, Lisa doesn't move. Her eyes stay closed until the silence settles completely. Dave presses the intercom. "That was it. That's the one." She smiles faintly. He would have liked it rough around the edges. They name it Through the Gates, duet version. The release date is set for October 8, 2022. When it drops, radio stations play it nonstop. DJs describe it as a bridge between heaven and earth. Within 12 hours, it climbs to #1 on digital charts in 20 countries. Lisa refuses any profit. All royalties go to the Service Song Fund. She tells reporters, the same foundation her father once supported. He believed music could heal. "I think he just proved it." Interviews flood in, but she avoids most of them. "The song says everything that needs saying," she tells Rolling Stone. When asked what the hardest part was, she pauses. "Not breaking down before the last line." Would you have the courage to turn grief into a legacy? To share the most personal pain of your life and call it love? The music video releases a week later. It opens with archival footage of Elvis at his piano, then slowly fades to Lisa sitting at the same bench decades later. Both hit the same final note. And as the sound dies away, the screen fades to black. One word appears on screen: together. The world doesn't just hear the song, it feels it. Within days, Through the Gates duet version becomes more than music. It's a moment. Clips of father and daughter singing side by side flood the internet. Elvis on a 1977 home reel, Lisa in 2022. Their voices crossing decades in perfect time. The comment sections read like open letters. "I lost my dad last year. This gave me hope." It's like love found a frequency that never dies. Late-night shows call it a miracle recording. CNN runs a headline, Lisa Marie Presley brings her father back to life, one note at a time. At Graceland, the response is overwhelming. Thousands visit each week, leaving small tape reels, letters, and handwritten lyrics at the gate. One fan writes, "He kept his promise. You helped him finish it." Inside the mansion, Lisa spends quiet evenings in the music room where her father used to play. The same sunlight that once fell across his piano now spills across hers. Sometimes she just sits there, hand resting on the ivory keys, playing the opening chord of Through the Gates without finishing it, just letting it hang in the air. When People magazine asks how she feels hearing their voices together, she answers simply, "It doesn't sound like a duet. It sounds like home." A few weeks later, a 12-year-old boy from Louisiana uploads a piano cover of the song to YouTube. The video is grainy, the playing rough, but the emotion real. Lisa watches it one night and reposts it with a short caption, "He's still teaching us all." The post explodes. Millions of views, thousands of comments, families sharing stories about songs their parents left behind. By December, Graceland adds a new plaque beneath Elvis's piano. The inscription reads, "Through the Gates, recorded August 12, 1977. Completed by Lisa Marie Presley, 2022. It becomes one of the most visited spots in the mansion. Visitors say the air there feels different, quieter, lighter. One tourist writes in the guestbook, "It's not a museum piece, it's a heartbeat." Lisa rarely gives interviews now, but in her final public comment about the song, she says, "I used to think grief was a closed door. Now I know it's just another room where love keeps playing. Would you open that door if it meant hearing one more note? Would you press play even if the sound might break you all over again?" She sits at that same piano one night, long after visiting hours are over. Only a single light glows above her head. She touches one key, the same note her father ended on in 1977. The sound fades into silence, but she keeps her hand there. It's not about finishing the song anymore. It's about remembering that it never really ended. Some stories don't fade. They wait, quietly, patiently, until the world is ready to hear them. For Lisa Marie, that reel wasn't a relic from the past. It was a reminder that love doesn't obey time. It lingers, it hums, it keeps singing through the silence. Months after the duet's release, fans still gather outside Graceland at sunset. They bring small radios, playing Through the Gates in unison. The sound drifts through the iron gates, mixing with the cicadas and the rustle of magnolia trees. It's as if the land itself remembers. Inside, Lisa visits the exhibit where the tape is displayed. The small silver reel sits under glass, lit by a single spotlight. The label, her father's handwriting, is still faintly visible. Graceland, August 12th to 14th, 1977. She stares at it for a long moment. Then, softly, she says to no one, "You kept your promise." That night, she writes a short note in the guestbook beside the display. Some songs are meant for forever. It becomes a quiet mantra for fans. The phrase appears on bracelets, t-shirts, even at the annual Elvis Week vigil. But Lisa doesn't see it as merchandise. She sees it as proof that something born from loss can still create connection. In interviews, she speaks differently now, calmer, surer. "When I heard that reel, I thought it would break me. Instead, it healed me. I think that's what he wanted. To teach me one last thing. That goodbye doesn't mean gone. Sometimes the most powerful legacy isn't in the gold records or the headlines. It's in the unseen act of courage it takes to listen again." She once said, "The hardest sound in the world isn't silence. It's memory." And yet, she pressed play anyway. Would you? If you could hear one voice from your past again, would you listen, even knowing it might undo you? Her father's music had always filled stadiums. But that last song filled something bigger. A space between worlds, between hearts, between generations. As the years pass, the story becomes legend. Tour guides whisper it to visitors standing by the piano. "This is where they finished the song," they say. Father and daughter across time. And every so often, when the room empties out and the lights dim, A faint hum seems to echo through the glass, like a soft tape hiss that refuses to end. Because love doesn't end. It changes voices. The reel stops spinning. The lights fade to black. Then one last sound, barely audible but unmistakable. A voice, warm and familiar, whispering through static. Still here. If the story moved you, share it with someone you wish could hear one more song with you. Because maybe we don't lose the people we love. They just change the way they reach us. And sometimes all it takes to find them again is pressing play.